My wife told me too much face yesterday, so I'm going to try to get away from the damn mic a little bit so you don't have to see all this. Hey, welcome. Batard is complaining Spotify numbers aren't what he thought. How about this? A Jacksonville Jaguars employee stole $22 million. Great night last night for the Redbirds of who? Illinois State. That's right, people. And I'm going to give you a couple of my MVP NFL picks. We got a monster for you today, including Hammer Time. Let's go. Don't At Me starts right now. You know, one of the great things about having a job like this is you're kind of keeping score. You know what I mean? You're kind of keeping score every day. Like ratings come out. Now, ratings are weird because ratings don't exactly tell you what people are watching. Like in radio, Indianapolis has a city of whatever, let's just say 1 million people, and maybe 500 of these little monitors are out to say who's listening to radio. But on Spotify and other places, you can kind of tell. That's why I'm always on our fans to help us out here. Make this thing grow by retweeting us. Make this thing grow by putting us out there and getting us in front of as many people, because I'm not going to lie to you, this is the greatest show you'll ever see. And Lee told me to get my fat face away as we were watching last night to try to get better, and she's absolutely right. So I'm a little bit of a way from the camera. But Batard, Dan Batard, apparently his numbers have headed south. I think people are tired of Dan Batard, but he's complaining about it. He cannot believe that this is what is actually transpiring. He is accusing Spotify of deflating audience numbers. Now, let me explain the way the world works, and you may not care about this, but you should. Censorship is alive and well and living in this world. When you are a conservative outfit like us, then the folks like used to be Twitter come at you. They censor you. YouTube, they come at you. They censor you. It's just what they do. They take a look and they say, wait a second, we're going to give you a strike or not a strike or whatever. Well, Batard is claiming that. I would claim that people have moved away from the wokeness. People have moved away from the Pablo Torres or the Bomani Jones or that kind of people. But Batard says, I cannot have our customer base that supports us most loyally than any other customer base. It's how we will, advertisers, the way we do. I don't understand that part. It's because they listen for more hours than anyone. No matter what Spotify does to junk up the numbers, they deserve merch to be cheaper than everybody else. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I know this. People are tired of it. We should be tired of it. Aren't you tired of reading every day how somebody did something and now we've got to cancel them? And while we let politicians run amok, while we let Biden lie to us, while we let Hunter Biden lie to us, while we let presidents at our most esteemed academic institutions like Penn, like Harvard, get up in front and say it's okay for anti-Semitism to reign supreme on our campuses. Aren't we tired? Because let's be honest, you and I live in the real world. We live where normal people live, and we don't see raging anti-Semitism among real people. We just don't. You may, we don't. We see people basically getting along, black, white, getting along, Jewish, Serbian, Mexican. We see people getting along. Now, of course, on X and others, we see problems, but we're just so tired of guys like Batard telling us how bad we are, telling us how superior they are. So the numbers, I would guess, don't really reflect it. What probably reflects it is people are tired of listening to it. That's why OutKick has grown the way it has. That's why subscriptions to this are over 1.5 million real quick. It'll be at 2 million probably by the end of the year. It's why shows like this and shows like Clay's and Tommy's and everyone else are where real people go to get their information. Not from Big Dan. Batard's pissed. He's pissed. He and knee pads over there lower right. That's a perfect position for Stugatz being just above belt high on Big Dan. So all he's got to do is turn and, you can't tell whether it's on Spotify or not, Batard said, because the numbers are jerry-rigged. Okay, well, maybe he's right. He was asked if God Bless Football could join the main streaming show on Max. Yeah, I don't know whether things are jerry-rigged. I do know this. We went on YouTube from about 20, 25,000 views a day to half of that because YouTube saw us getting too popular. That we know. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we are eventually moving our operation straight to OutKick. And you saw what Dave Portnoy said. You saw Portnoy just come at YouTube because he knows what's going on here. They don't like you. They give you what's called a strike. And next thing you know, you got a problem. Next thing you know, the algorithms are off. Next thing you know, you can't be seen by so many. That's happened a number of times on our show. So maybe Le Batard's right. I don't know, but I don't care. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. And then the reaction came in from some unlikely sources. Ryan Russillo, formerly of ESPN, formerly a colleague of Le Batard, said, do you guys really want to do this? Because Russillo and others know that Le Batard, why would you pay attention to Le Batard? There was a time when wokeness was run amok. There was a time when the Miami Heat were interesting, and Le Batard and knee pads were the absolute fanboys of both. They were the fanboys of wokeness. You couldn't swing a dead cat without Mina Kimes or Sarah Spain or Pablo Torre or Israel Garcia. I don't even know what that guy's name is with the different hair and all that stuff. Good for him. You couldn't swing a dead cat without those guys telling you what bad people they are, what bad people we are. But the fact of the matter is, guys that are real people, and Russillo's a real person, and Doug Gottlieb had this to say about it, and I just think it's funny. I just think it's one of those deals, or people have had enough of listening to Dan Le Batard. People have had enough of being told. Look, the idea is simple. You're tired of being told what bad people Americans are. You're tired of being told what bad people white Americans are. You're tired of being told how bad people that have families are. Moms and dads of all races, racist. You know, we had a shooting yesterday. We had a shooting, 14, 15-year-old kids outside of the Lawrence North versus Lawrence Central basketball games. Pretty good rivalry right by my house. A couple guys came out, fight ensued, guns were drawn, couple shots fired. A 14, 15-year-old were apprehended. They're the ones that did the shooting. And my point is, where's the parents? Where the hell's the fathers? And you're allowed to say that now. See, you weren't allowed to say that about a year and a half ago. Tony Dungy said that, and the world lost their mind to where Tony Dungy had to say, hold the phone here. Wait a freaking second now. Hold the phone. We know that African-American fathers are absent. So today I put out, where are the fathers? Well, guess what? Reverend Charles Harrison, who is one of the most respected African-American leaders in the city of Indianapolis, backed me up. He backed me up because, look, this is a problem. It is a huge problem. And anybody that doesn't think it's a problem doesn't know. So Le Batard won't address this problem because that would be racist. Charles Harrison said the sad reality is that almost 75% of Black children are born into single-parent households. That's the problem. There are just too many absent fathers in the lives of their children. That's real. See, Le Batard and knee pads here, they're not going to get it to you real. They're not going to give it to you real because they stand on the side of woke. They want you divided. Well, we unite here. We tell you what's real because people want real. They don't want garbage. I'm just telling you the sad reality. My response to Charles Harrison was this. Exactly, Charles Harrison. And Tony Dungy got persecuted for pointing this out. This, what Charles Harrison said, must be discussed, brought out into the light for it to be fixed. Hiding behind that's racist, which is what Le Batard does on every issue, is nonsense. Hiding behind politics and guns, etc., is nonsense. This must be corrected, but I have no idea how to do it. I would love to have an idea how to do it. I would love to be involved in fixing, but I got nothing. But I know this. It needs to be fixed. And I know this. People could not be more tired of people like Le Batard and others that make every single thing a political race issue while telling white guy how bad we are. White guy ain't bad. Now, you can get mad at white guy all you want, but white guy ain't bad. I'll tell you what's a dumb white guy, though. David Carr, the former first pick in the draft, the former quarterback that got knocked on his head apparently too many times. David Carr is now an analyst of some sort. He's an analyst that, well, when he analyzes, I just feel dumber because of the analysis. I just do. So here's what David Carr had to say. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying a week ago, Jalen Hurts was the front runner for most valuable player in the NFL. And after this week, Jalen Hurts will probably be the front runner. Listen to this. This is David Carr suggesting Marcus Mariota take over. Now, those of my friends, Dylan and Ryan and everybody in Nashville right now just throw up in their mouth at the suggestion that David Carr makes here that Marcus Mariota should take over. I'd say he's probably better at playing quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles right now. He would be more productive. Later, when you're healthy, we'll see you in the playoffs, Jalen. Really? Okay. I guess. And then he goes on, David Carr does. Clearly, Jalen isn't comfortable reading through a defense in a drop-back pass scenario. Wow. Some would say he's not even good at it. You have to have a serious conversation if you're Philly. And you have to really say, is it better for us to play Marcus Mariota right now and let Jalen get fully healthy? Well, you're saying two things. I mean, I get it. You probably caught yourself, David Carr. This is how the world works. He probably caught himself saying, wait a second, that's really stupid. You know, how did I come to this conclusion? So I better say he's not healthy. And he may not be healthy. Hell, I don't know. Who is healthy? When you run that freaking tush push, how are you ever going to be healthy? Like Jason Kelsey, brother of, said, look, I think they should outlaw the tush push just simply because I'm tired of talking about it. But can you imagine being on the bottom of that 3-4 times a game or in the middle of it as Jalen Hurts is? Of course, he's a little. But there's two things here. When you say he's not comfortable reading through a defense in drop back scenarios, that's not health. That's just not being good. That's just not being good enough. You can say whatever you'd like, but that, frankly, is just him saying, David Carr, that you, Jalen Hurts, aren't good enough. And then you couch it with, hey, look, whatever. But if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, unless Jalen Hurts is really unhealthy, there ain't a chance in hell I'm benching him. See, guys like David Carr should understand something, and you should too. If you're going to watch sports, you need to be educated on sports. That's why I'm here. The locker room on an NFL team is very fragile because a lot of guys, well, the average NFL career length is 3 to 5 years. I got to get mine while I can. So if I want to extend that, then I got to be really good, work really hard, be a good dude in the building, in the community, on the field if I want to extend that. But I also extend it beyond a winning team. I also understand that forever, ever, Super Bowl champion gets put next to my name if, in fact, we do what? Yes, win the Super Bowl. And you ain't winning a Super Bowl with Marcus Mariota. You ain't winning nothing with Marcus Mariota. You ain't winning the Dakich family turkey bowl in the backyard of Carmel, Indiana, or Indianapolis, or Zionsville, or Maryville, or where. You ain't winning nothing. You ain't winning squadoosh. But guess what? David Carr thinks they should. David Carr's nuts. There's a backstory here. I'm just telling you there's a backstory. Somehow Marcus Mariota and Derek and David Carr are buds. Somehow Marcus Mariota is inside of the family tree, inside the family of friends, inside the circle of trust of the Carrs, because no right-minded person could criticize anything about Jalen Hurts. Now, I will come back on this show and say, yeah, I was wrong. If, in fact, I ultimately am wrong and Jalen Hurts doesn't take his team to the NFC Championship game. Look, beating the 49ers ain't happening with Marcus Mariota. And if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, I've got to look at the 49ers as the team I've got to beat. Sure, I can't look beyond the teams that I'm playing, but I've got to get good enough to beat the 49ers who just beat the crap out of me last weekend on Sunday. That's it. That's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm doing, period. I always told my kids, or I'm not sure I told my kids. Nick says David Carr should tell the Saints to bench his brother. I would argue this, though, Nick. I would argue that David Carr's brother seems to get benched every time he plays because he gets knocked out of every freaking game. That's what I would argue, but I don't think you're wrong. All right. If you're going to go rob big. Look, armed robbery, you're going to go to jail whether you use a gun to steal $10 or you steal 22 million. White collar crime, hey, you might as well go big, but I didn't imagine anybody going this big. A Jacksonville Jaguars employee. This clown's name is Amit Patel. He is accused of stealing, listen to this, $22 million. $22 million. I'm going to say that again. $2 million. Actually, it's 22,450,000 and change. If you steal $10 from the Dakich household, we're going to try to find you. The 450,000 at the end of the 22 million is enough to get you life in prison. This guy, Amit Patel, is alleged to have stolen over 22 million from the team over the past 5 years. Well, give him credit. It's only a little over 4 mil a year. That ain't that big. Can you imagine? He used, listen to this, the stolen money to buy himself a couple cars. Now, not just any cars. I mean, we're talking about Tesla, the highest level, $250,000 to $300,000 cars. Got himself a condo in Puerto Verde Beach, which can't be cheap. Somehow, some way, people want to walk around with a designer watch that was $95,000. Look, Gritty, I got to tell you, Sean Black, I got to tell you, if you're walking around Indy or anywhere with a $95,000 watch, you might as well just say, look, cut off my hand, because that's what you're going to do. My man, he got cryptocurrency. He placed bets. He went on lavish vacations. This dude got it done. Respect, yo. If you're going to go out big. Now, this is interesting to me because the Jaguars are fighting Urban Meyer over money that they owe him. And it's not 22 million, but it's close. This guy just screwed the entire pooch. This guy, no wonder the Jacksonville Jaguars are fighting. No wonder the Jacksonville Jaguars are dying to get it. Listen to this. This whole scheme started 5 years ago in 2018. He was in charge of basically business operations. All right. The organization was referred to as Business A. This guy handled the credit cards. This guy handled all kind of stuff. And somehow, some way, you don't think 22 million is going to be seen. You don't think it's going to be like, hey, wait, hold on. Where'd that 4 mil go? You know, one of the things about the NFL that people need to realize is the NFL is owned by people. Like the teams are owned by people. In most cases, I think damn near all cases, they're owned by individual people. Obviously, LLCs, companies, all that kind of stuff. But really, you think about the Ursays, the Rooneys. You go through it forever. I don't know all of the owners, but I know this. That guy Khan owns Jacksonville, and he gonna figure it out when you go 22 million light. Now, you may get a couple bucks here. You may expense a nice dinner at Morton's, but you're not getting away with 22 million. Eventually, they're going to get you. And they're going to get you hard and hurtful and make it hurt and stick it to you and stick it in you. And there ain't nothing you can do because they're going to find it. You know, when somebody steals, like I had this happen to me once. I went to Jacobs Field. I don't know what it's called now. It's in Cleveland. I forgot to lock my door in the parking garage. I was talking to my son and his buddies, and I didn't hit the button. I came back. My wallet was gone. I don't know. I think I must have just taken cash. I don't know. I don't know how this happened. But what I do know is my credit cards were stolen. And I noticed quickly that the guys using the credit card weren't using it for a great deal of money. $10 here, $20 fill up of gas, some Sandos at the local 7-Eleven. That's how most criminals do it. They don't all of a sudden, like in Ocean's 11, steal like millions of dollars in one fell swoop. Criminal dude takes it over time. And I got taken for a little bit, but Capital One did me a solid yo. And next thing you know, I was whole. But the truth of the matter is this dude decided with credit card, with their business accounts, I'm going to take 22 million. Holy hell. In one way, I kind of respect the cat. I mean, let's be honest. You're not going down for pennies. You're going down big. You're going down because, well, I wanted to change my life. I wanted to have a lifestyle that I could not get in the business office of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And guess what? He got it, baby. He absolutely got it. It's really amazing, but good for him. All right. How about this? How about college football and basketball coaches are being held up by their own players? Now, I want you to follow this. So I'm a wide receiver. I'm at Indiana. Indiana's a bad thing because they just got a new coach. Illinois. I'm at Illinois. Bielema has been in college football for a long, long time. He understands the lay of the land. The lay of the land has changed since Bielema started coaching as a head coach, even at Wisconsin. But the deal is simple. I'm a head coach. I've got my team. Everybody knows what I'm making, and everybody knows that players are being paid. Here's what's happening. Player comes in with an agent, sits down with the coach. Used to be you came in without an agent, you sat down with the coach, and the coach let you know how things worked. Not anymore. Player comes in with an agent. Player sits down. Player tells the coach, I need 100 grand. If I'm going to stay, I need an extra 100 grand, 50 grand, 200 grand, whatever. This is happening left and right. College football coaches are now in bidding wars inside their own team, inside their own transfer portal. $100 shakedowns, they're calling it. Now, look, if I'm going to walk into my coach's office, I better be damn good. The world has changed. I cannot imagine walking into my coach's office or a kid walking into my office and saying, yo, dude, I need 100K or I'm leaving. Because I can go get 100K over at Texas A&M or Nebraska or wherever. I need 100K. And if you don't have 100K, I'm out of here. You know, this started last year, I was told. Now, maybe this isn't accurate, but that's like a Joe Biden statement right there, right? Maybe this isn't accurate, but here's what I think happened. I was told that Indiana University men's basketball, Mike Woodson, with a kid named Jalen Shafino Hood or Hood Shafino, I can't even remember which way it goes. I think it's Hood Shafino. He and his people wanted more money, middle of the year. So they, ironically enough, scrounged up an extra $100,000 to keep this guy happy. Now, the guy went and dropped 35 and beat Purdue, and Woodson became a hero. He did it at Purdue, so Woodson even became a bigger hero. But the truth of the matter is, hey, fellas, I need an extra 100K. What are you talking about? Middle of the season. Yeah. Shafino's people want more money. Now, I knew Shafino's people. I threw Shafino's uncle off of the team at West Virginia. Beeline let him back, and then, well, Beeline kicked him off about halfway through the season. And Shafino's people came into my office, two big, dumb-looking guys, and tried to shake me down. At which point I told them, look, hey, man, I don't know what to tell you. Get the hell out of my office. Don't get out of my office. You ain't getting shit from me. But anyway, so I'm not going to say it happened. I'm going to say I was told it happened by a very reliable source. And I'm going to say it's happening left and right. Imagine what this guy, Cam Ward, who is transferring from Washington State. He allegedly is all set to go to Ohio State. Ohio State wants to get back. Screw the drop back quarterback. We want the JT Barrett type quarterback that can run it, run our read option stuff, run our RPO series. Okay, fine. What is that guy worth? Some people say 1, 2, 3 million. Some people say Sanders' kid, who you're seeing mumbling his way through all kind of commercials, is worth 6 to 7 million. I don't know. But to me, that's different than a guy who's made 45 catches for 450 yards, 10 yards a catch, coming in saying, Coach, I need an extra 100 grand. But here's the interesting thing. Teams will pay it. Teams will pay it. The good teams in particular will really, really, really pay it. Anyway, it's a fascinating thing for me. This is not fascinating. This happened with Urban Meyer in Jacksonville. Now, there are all kind of stories coming out right now about what was going down in Carolina with our beloved in Indianapolis, Frank Reich. See, one of the most, if not the most important things that you can do in coaching is hire people you know. Because if you know them well enough to hire them, chances are you are going to respect them. Chances are they're going to respect you. Chances are this is going to be okay. If we lose, nobody's going to do what apparently the Carolina Panthers assistant coaches and what these idiots did in Jacksonville. Let me tell you what they did. The Athletic is reporting that there was a dysfunction in the organization of Frank Reich. What do I always tell you? I always tell you kindness is weakness, and Frank Reich is a nice man. Staffers were texting the owner, David Tepper, behind Reich's back about issues they saw with the team before Reich was ultimately fired November 27th after a 1-10 start. Folks within the organization told The Athletic there was a Hunger Games culture in which survival became a priority as Reich's grip on the head coaching job slipped. I'm telling you, college and professional football coaches are the biggest frauds you're ever gonna see. I'm just telling you, they get up there, they got their little suit and tie, it's game week, and you know what happens? Game week, my ass. I'm going back into my office and I'm going to try to convince 16 to 22-year-olds to change their commitment. I'm going to try to buy as many players as I can. And in the world of NFL coaches, and this is very fascinating to me, in the world of NFL coaches, you've got a bunch of guys, I mean a bunch of guys that have agents that are trying to get to the next job. And as soon as they see weakness, as soon as they see we are not going to be successful, it's not like they all hunker down, what do they call it, pull ranks in and get going. No, I don't do that. No. What they do is survival of the fittest. Yes, Hunger Games is a pretty damn good analogy for it. Hunger Games where you're killing your own, you're eating your own, you're killing your butt, whatever, in order for you to survive is perfect. Not kind of, sort of perfect, 1,000% perfect. Urban fell victim to it in Jacksonville. Darrell Bevel and all, maybe Bevel isn't, I shouldn't use him because I don't really know if he was one of the guys. But all these clowns had themselves all kind of agents. And man, oh man, the sharks were circling as soon as things didn't seem right. So when you hear football coaches talking about, well, you know, we all hunker down together. We all hunker down together. We all get going. Okay. All right. Well, do you really? Do you really? I'd be curious, and I'm going to look this up maybe at the break. I'd be curious to know, are the guys that are on Frank Reich's staff some of the same guys that Urban was forced to hire? That would be interesting to me. That would be really, really interesting if these are the same guys. The YouTube chat is pumping. The talk today is, are you listening to vinyl records or do you not? See, I've been watching Suits again. I watched Suits the first time and I didn't finish. So I started watching again, and Harvey Specter, the lawyer, is the coolest man on earth. He's smart, good looking, intelligent, sophisticated. He the man. And he listens to vinyl in his office. Vinyl made a comeback years ago, as most things do. And then you realize, wait a second here. There ain't a damn thing about this that I like as compared to all the other options I have to listen to music. And don't tell me I'm wrong. Of course I'm right. I'm always right about this kind of stuff. All right, let me go through a little college hoops last night. Last night, this is a fun thing. If you ever coach, you'll understand this. So Shaka Smart does a great job at VCU. He does a great job. Not a good job. He does a great job. Gets him to the Final Four. Next thing you know, he's got his pick of jobs. Where does Shaka want to go? Where does he go? Texas. Couldn't be a worse fit for Shaka, but hey, the opportunity to be in a big-time athletic department with big-time football, with big-time money, big-time boosters, players right there. You're really in Texas. You got to recruit Texas, and that can be about it. Like if you get the 3-4 best players out of Texas every year, you can go win national championship. But it doesn't go right. These guys are entitled. Shaka's more of a meat and potatoes, we're going to grind it out, tough it out kind of guy. So he leaves Texas, gets the job at Marquette after Lil Woj is fired. Okay. So he gets the Marquette job. He's from Wisconsin. He went to Kenyon College. He's a guy's guy. And he's coaching at a guy's program. Rick Majerus, Crean had it going on. Their Al McGuire had it going. I mean, they just had guys. All right. Well, guess what? They get to play Texas. It's a great series and good for both. Rodney Terry's the head coach at Texas. Good for him for agreeing to play it, because to people in Texas, well, Marquette don't mean nothing. Nothing. Zero. Zip. They don't know the history of Al McGuire, nor should they. To people in Texas, Shaka Smart, right? Couldn't coach. Shaka Smart, overrated. Blah, 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 blah. Guess what happened last night, ladies and gentlemen? Shaka Smart played Texas. Game was going along okay. I mean, not great, but okay. Next thing you know, number 8 in the country, Marquette, exploded in the second half. Next thing you know, number 8 in the country, Marquette, got an unbelievable game from a kid named Tyler Kolek. Final score, 86 Marquette, 65 Texas. Kolek ended up with 28, 8, and 6. Now, it was in Milwaukee, tough place to play. So I got to say to Rodney Terry, the head coach, good for you, man. Good for you. Seriously. Playing that game is freaking awesome. And Terry, you know what? A lot of guys don't want to play the game. And let me explain college basketball to you in terms of coaching. There is no pressure on the head coach of Texas. There is no pressure on the head coach of Kentucky. There is no pressure on Indiana's head coach. You want pressure coaching the MAC, where you got 2 young kids making $125,000 a year. Now, $125,000 is pretty good, right? But it ain't $6 million. It ain't the $9 million. It ain't the $15.5 million buyout that Tom Allen got, or the 24, 22, 20, whatever, that, or 70 some, excuse me, that what's his face got, Jimbo Fisher. You want pressure? Watch a MAC game. You want pressure? Watch a Missouri Valley game. Oh, really? The coach Rodney Terry lost? Oh, man. You're going to fire me? Okay. Just give me my $20 million as I head out the door. Hey, I don't know if you saw this, but one of my favorite players, Juan Soto, got traded to the Yankees. I got to tell you, I had no interest in watching Juan Soto play for the Braves. Or excuse me, the Padres, not the Braves. What's wrong with me? None. When he went to the Padres, it's like when Robinson Cano went to Seattle. Good for them. They got scratched. Bad for us because I don't care about him anymore. I cared about Juan Soto when he was crouching down, left-handed, taking walks. Juan Soto's worst year, he had 27 home runs. He had 27 home runs in a bad year, and he's only 25. You're talking about a potential Triple Crown winner. And let me add, you can take one of them out. You can take either the home run title, the RBI title, or the batting title out, and you'll put in walks and on base percentage. The dude has a 40% on base percentage because he'll take walks. That's pretty good. And here's what I like even more about it. See, one of the great things about sports is you got to know what you have. Like, I know we have the best show you're ever going to see on this platform, not the OutKick platform, the morning streaming platform. I know this, and I know we give you the best. So I am a little bit arrogant about it. I just don't want slap blanks as guests. I want the best guests that you can find. And today, Hammer Time is the perfect guest. And we'll get into that about the Republican debate. We'll get into Shohei Ohtani. He's a huge Cubs guy. We'll get into a lot of different stuff. But the truth of the matter is you got to be arrogant, and that's why I like what the Yankees did. Wait a second. You're really good. You're only 25. We need you. We're going to go get you. That's George Steinbrenner. Yes, I know George Steinbrenner's dead, but that's George Steinbrenner. George Steinbrenner was, all right, Reggie Jackson, you did a great job for the Oakland A's. It's time to play in the big leagues. Catfish Hunter, same thing. Time to play in the big leagues. Let's go. And that's what the Yankees did with Garrett Cole, and that's what the Yankees just did with Juan Soto. Look, is New York going to break Soto? DC didn't. Biggest moments didn't when the dude was like 20 years old. So I'm excited about the trade. I really am. Not because I like the Yankees. I do like Soto, and I do like him a lot. Because to me, when I'm watching baseball and Yankee Stadium is on, I'll stop and watch. When I'm watching baseball and the San Diego Padres are on, I'm like, yeah, that sounds boring unless I got action on. The only team I truly stop for is the Cubs. But after that, it's the Yankees or the Red Sox because I like where they play. They're winning organizations. I don't care about Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay can win every year, and I ain't watching. But I watch the Yankees, and I watch the Red Sox, and I'll damn near watch them every single time they are on. So good for them. Here, one pet peeve. I would love for you to do this. ESPN had an article. It wasn't written by the world's most punchable face, Jeff Passan. It was written by somebody else. If you're over the age of 20, read this article and tell me how many of these ridiculous statistics they throw out. Like, you got to have an engineering degree from MIT to figure out exactly what the hell some of these stats mean. And I got no interest. I want to know your on-base percentage. I want to know your batting average. I want to know, I don't even care about slugging. I want to know how many RBIs and how many home runs you got. Yes, maybe I'm a Neanderthal, but I ain't mad about being a Neanderthal. Son of a biscuit maker, I started reading this article, and I'm like, Jesus, am I in calculus? Which, by the way, I couldn't pass. I took calculus 3 times at Indiana. Never had a guy that spoke English as my teacher. Never, not one time. I went up to him to ask him for help. He couldn't understand me, and I sure the hell couldn't understand him. First time, first test, I got 28. Dropped the class. Next time, took it again next semester. Got a 31. I was doing better, dropped the class. Took it in the summer at IUN. I would work picking up garbage and doing all kind of stuff, and then I would go to class at night. Guess what? 36 on the first test. I said, I'm done. Let me go to telecommunications, no math. But I got to tell you, these freaking statistics that they put in baseball can kiss my backside. Danny Plezak's going to join us next week. Oh, speaking, Tom Brenneman. Remember Tom Brenneman, who got canceled? He's going to join us next week, and I'm going to join his show right after this show. Hey, keep it right here. It's Hammer Time, ladies and gentlemen. Shohei Ohtani to the Cubs? I hope so. Bull season? I think so. NBA play-in tournament is all the rage in Indianapolis. And first things first, Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek, I don't know how the hell you say his name, but I love the guy. Man, did he lay the wood figuratively. Don't read anything into it, you dirtbags. Boy, did he lay the wood to Nikki Haley. We'll be right back. Hey, you know him, you love him. He is one of the hosts, along with our friend Nigel, of the number one talk show, news talk show in the country, Hammer and Nigel, 3 to 7 on WIBC 93.1. He is a god. He speaks on everything, gambling. He speaks on politics. I'm getting right into politics. I don't know. Vivek Ramaswamy, friend of the show, I think he's been on your show. He's just hammering Nikki Haley, figuratively, of course, not sexually. A lot of people lose sight of that. He's just killing this woman, and I'm here for it, brother.
I'm with you. And somebody tweeted at us last night, because we were kind of live tweeting this debate last night. Every 30 minutes of this debate, I dislike Nikki Haley 17% more. Like, I don't know if the math adds up there right, but I see where this guy's going. The more you listen to Nikki Haley, the more she comes off as a fraud and a phony. And good for Ramaswamy, good for Ron DeSantis for calling her out. And look, it's not a sexist thing. It's not a woman thing. It's a stop sending my tax dollars to wars the United States not involved in thing. It's a don't send my sons and daughters to a war the United States is not involved in thing. Because Nikki Haley, she loves a good old-fashioned war, coach. She can't get enough of your tax dollars and your sons and daughters wanting to go fight somewhere else.
Yeah, it's kind of disgusting. And I thought the interesting thing was when Ramaswamy said, hey, look, she can't even tell you 3 provinces in Ukraine, but she sure wants to go fight. That was telling to a lot of people. I think that hit home with a lot of people.
And I like Ron DeSantis calling her on her bull crap, too. Ron DeSantis signed that bill that they were fighting about in Florida, the bathroom bill, talking about, dudes going into the women's restroom and things like that. Ron DeSantis called out her bald-faced lie. And listen, the internet exists. There's video of Nikki Haley saying a lot of these things that she denies she said. It exists. We're not stupid. It takes literally 2 to 3 minutes of time to get on your phone, search for Nikki Haley, and you will find her saying all of the things that she denies. Now, look, we can sit here and talk about Nikki Haley and DeSantis and Ramaswamy. None of these people are going to be the nominee unless Donald Trump can't be the nominee. But Nikki Haley is a problem, and I'm glad that people last night finally brought the heat to her because it felt like she was kind of getting a free pass in these first couple debates.
I think she is surprised by, they're attacking a woman. I think she's still thinking this is a few years ago where, the media and Twitter would jump on you if you said anything about African-American, anything about a woman, they would lose their mind. I think she was kind of running with all of her past bullshit. I think she was kind of running with that in the back of her mind. At least it seems like to me based on her reactions.
You're right. You're right with that. And it was wild to me last night because Chris Christie all of a sudden decided he wanted to be Richard Gere at the end of Officer and a Gentleman and rescue Nikki Haley and pick her up and walk off the stage as Love Lifts Us Up Where We Belong plays, figuring that maybe, just maybe, it makes him look likable and he can stay in the good graces of somebody that might be on the short list of a position in Washington. None of that mattered last night. Like, none of these debates matter. I watched it. I admit I wasted my time last night, and I watched every single second of this. And I've said from the very beginning, Ron DeSantis is the best at governing, but he's a little awkward. And for whatever reason, this country feels like American Idol needs to be the way we pick the president of the United States. You got to have a wacky catchphrase. You got to have hope and change, or I'm with her, or make America great again. That's not what Ron DeSantis does. He just kicks ass at governing, but that's not enough for the American people. And with Ramaswamy, anytime there's a debate, he shines. Like, he's got the one-liners. He's got the notebook that says, shading Nikki Haley, corruption. I'm here for all that, but he doesn't have any money. Nobody's donating to Vivek Ramaswamy. And the only time we see this cat is when there is a debate.
I think he's funny as hell. And I love the fact that he's unafraid, right? I mean, look, if I'm going to watch a debate, I don't want to. I'll say this about Christie, and this is his problem. He's likable in person. like I was with him at a lunch. I walked up to him in a restaurant. We were both in South Bend. His daughter was a manager on Mike Bray's basketball team. I was doing not Knicks. I was doing the Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Who are they playing? Duke. Yeah, I was doing it. I was thinking Knicks. What am I talking about? But anyway, and I just said hello. He was engaging. But he doesn't appear that way. There's never been a time on camera that I can remember that he has appeared to be anything other than a D-bag, and I don't really think that's him. That's just who he appears to be.
And listen, if you're looking for somebody that's going to be the conservative, the Republican, this is the same guy that was bro-hugging Barack Obama a number of years ago. This is the same guy that's only in this race to troll Donald Trump. That's it. Like, who watched that debate last night and then thought, you know what? I'm going to give my hard-earned money to Chris Christie. I'm going to make a donation to Chris Christie. Unless you hate Vivek Ramaswamy and you want to reward Chris Christie for basically telling him, sit down and shut up, then who writes a check to Chris Christie? The whole point of him being in this thing is because Donald Trump's hurt his feelings. And for me, I'm sorry, that's not enough for you to be in the picture to begin with. That debate last night, Coach, should have been two people on the stage only, Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis. I like Vivek. He's a fun dude. He's a smart dude. He's witty, but he doesn't have any money. And the polling shows he's only going down. This really is a two-person race, if that.
I got to talk about the play-in tournament in the NBA. A lot of people are confused by it. We're not in Indianapolis because we know that the Pacers are having an unbelievable year and they're a lot of fun. I didn't realize this until about a week or two ago that every player that wins on the winning team gets $500K. I don't care who you are, man, $500K. But Hammer, you go to a lot of the games, man, with your son. That's a fun basketball team, the Pacers.
I'm so glad this in-season tournament happened because it's been great for the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton now gets a little national exposure. And I get most of the people watching your show that aren't Indiana Pacer fans have not seen 1 second of a Pacers game this year. Tyrese Halliburton is the best pure point guard in the NBA, and it's not even close. Assists, points, clutch shooting, great teammate, locked in long-term. He's going to be the face of the franchise for the Indiana Pacers. This dude is for real. And he single-handedly has got that field house, Gainbridge Fieldhouse where the Pacers play, rocking and rolling again. That in-season tournament game against Boston last week, I don't know how it looked on television, but I haven't seen that joint that alive probably since the Reggie days when the Pacers made a run to the NBA Finals. There have been some good Pacer teams throughout the years, Eastern Conference Finals Pacers teams, but that joint was alive. And it wasn't Celtics fans in there. It was Pacer fans. They're waving towels. They're singing Jack and Diane. Like, this has been a godsend to the Indiana Pacers. And I'm glad that it happened because Tyrese Halliburton deserves the national exposure.
I agree. And he's a great dude. I had him on our show when I was there a year ago, and he's just a great kid, man. I did a game of his at Iowa State. You're right. I mean, his numbers are stupid. The assists, the turnovers, the fact his 4-point play to basically seal the game, take it from a tie game to up 4 with under a minute to go was incredible the other day. It was a lot of fun, man. It really was. It was. And it is a lot of fun. Got to ask you because people are whining and complaining. I'm going to give you my take, and I know you will. If you disagree, give me a little bitch slapping. But I think Michigan, Alabama, 3 things. 1, it's going to be the highest rated football game in the history of college football. 2, I think that they set up a game because they don't want Michigan to win. And without Travis, the quarterback of Florida State, Alabama gives Michigan the best chance to lose. And 3, frankly, you're not going without an SEC team. I don't give a damn what anybody says. You're not doing it.
So imagine you're on a jury. Your job as a juror is to make sure you get things right. And that's what I kind of think about the college football playoff committee, right? Your job is not to, reward somebody because you feel like it's the right thing. You have to do what you think is the right decision. And I think the right 4 teams are in this. I'm sorry, but Alabama would beat the brakes off of Florida State with their starting quarterback or without. And I'd say the same thing if it were Georgia. I just think both of those teams are better than Florida State. Now, I do think this, bringing it full circle back to that debate last night, I think Ron DeSantis missed a great moment to go viral because that debate was in Tuscaloosa. It was right there on the campus of Alabama. Wouldn't you love to see Ron DeSantis go up there and just burn it to the ground and shame every one of them and say that his Florida State Seminoles deserve to be there? None of you drunken hillbillies know what you're talking about. Like, that's the way to rescue a campaign right there. I'm so mad that he missed that opportunity last night. Come on, Ron.
Honest to God, he's right there. Like,
right.
I guess maybe there's like a political handbook that says don't do that, but you got to throw that out. You got to go scorched earth on all these people, right? They're sitting ducks. You got the stage. You got them all. He should have smacked them right in the freaking forehead with a boom and kept booming and booming and booming.
What do you got to lose?
Right.
You're trailing Donald Trump by all these points and all these polls. Might as well go scorched earth, man, and just support your state that elected you twice, support the people that make your donations from Florida, and just remind everybody in the state of Alabama that Florida State should have been there. The problem is all these eggheads that run his campaign probably have no idea what that is.
That's what I think. I think the guys that are involved in campaigns are so by the book, and I don't know, or gone the other way. Or said, you know what? You couldn't do this. I'm the governor of Florida, and our team stunk. I mean, let's be honest. I'm so happy to be here in Tuscaloosa, where there's a real we would have kicked your ass if we had Jordan Travis, but we don't. So they got it right. You couldn't do that, obviously. Hey, I got to ask you because you know what? You and I are the smartest Cub fans that I know. Jeb Hoyer not happy with Dave Nightingale for saying that the Cubs are getting out or are out of the Ohtani chase. I need Ohtani in my life. I need Ohtani in Wrigley Field. I do. Any chance? What are your thoughts?
I think the Cubs need to find someone in our lives because if they miss the boat on Ohtani and they let Bellinger walk and they're not in on any other of these major free agents, there's going to be a lot of angry folks up and down Wrigleyville. Murphy's is not going to be happy. The Cubby Bear is not going to be happy because the Ricketts family, they've decided that apparently winning after they won that World Series, which is great. And many Cub fans have always said, just give me one before I die and I'll be happy. Well, guess what? You're a major market. You've got your own TV network that's not very good, but we pay for it because we're suckers and we're Cubs fans and we love watching baseball. All we're asking, all we're begging is spend our money. We'll give you the money. We'll throw the money at you. Spend our money. Bring somebody in. You're going to have to do something because if you miss out on Ohtani and you let Bellinger walk and you don't get one of these high-profile pitchers to come in, if you don't rescue the bullpen, if you don't get a third baseman or a first baseman, what the hell is going on if all the Cubs have to show at the end of this offseason is Rhys Hoskins, possibly, and a manager? Is that good enough for you, Coach?
No. I'm all in on what the Yankees did. Hey, the Yankees said, screw it, man. We're going to go get Juan Soto. He's only 25 years old. We're going to pay him. He's in the last year of his contract. We're going to go be the Yankees. I go back to the 70s, and I said this earlier, where George Steinbrenner said, hey, Reggie Jackson, Catfish Hunter, great job with the Oakland A's. But we're going to pay you more money than you ever imagined. Welcome to the big leagues. Come on over here to New York. That's acting like a BSD. You know what a BSD is? A big swing, and you know what? That's taking that thing out and saying, look, this is who – and the Cubs never do that. And then when they do, they make a mistake. Bellinger was not a mistake, though.
No. But the Cubs, if you look at the way they've handled business the last couple of years, I understand you got to rebuild that minor league system. It kind of got dry there after the run through the World Series. But now it's time. You've got the money. You've got the assets. Deliver a winning team because the division's wide open. Milwaukee looks like they're having their rebuilding moment. Cincinnati's on the up, but they're not there yet. St. Louis was awful last year. The Pirates are still the Pirates. This is a winnable division. If you just go out and try this much, just a little effort, you can win that division, get home playoff games. Wrigleyville will be rocking and rolling. We'll buy the T-shirts. We'll buy the merch. We'll buy the concessions. We'll buy the beer. We'll go to the games. Just give us a reason to, for the love of God.
Yeah, we'll even buy the secondary market tickets outside that Ricketts controls. Shoot, he controls the whole. Hell, we'll get the rooftops filled up again because he controls those too. Honest to God. Hey, last thing before I let you go. Where are you at with bowl games? Like, Tennessee, whoever. I feel like because of the football playoffs, none of them matter. And because it's now not only okay, but encouraged for players to opt out, I feel like,
See, I'm in because I'm a gambling degenerate, though. Like you can win some money on these bowl games. If you think a star player is going to sit out, you get that line early enough. Like take Ohio State and Missouri, for example. That line is completely switched because it sounds like Ohio State's quarterback, who's now in the transfer portal, wants no part of playing in that game. Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably not going to play in that game. And it's a much bigger deal for Missouri. So if you jumped on that early and got Missouri as the dog, you probably can't wait for this game to happen. And let's be honest, it gives you something to do in the background, right? Like if a bowl game comes on at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, if it comes on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, don't tell me you're not going to watch it if you don't have anything else going on.
Greatest thing that happened to me as I'm in Florida is that you can bet online with Hard Rock. The Hard Rock is the only app that you can have. And my man Sack Attack went 10-1 last night, so we got some seed money for the bowl game. HT, I appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you, Coach.
Love having Hammer on. He brings the juice, baby. There he is. Jason, Allen, Hammer, WIBC 93.1 Indies News Center. He and Nigel Laskowski are absolutely great. Hammer and Nigel show is the best show you will listen to if you're smart enough to go and get the app and listen to. I'm just telling you. All right. Hey, look, the OutKick store is better than ever. So if you want to rep OutKick gear, head to shop.outkick.com. Limited time when you buy one item, you can get another item 50% off. All you got to do is visit shop.outkick.com. Add the items to your cart. Discount will automatically be applied. Do not drop the ball on this offer and score 50% off while you can. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I got some emails to get to. Hey, Gritty. I got Jay Hutt coming on, the bearded wonder, Jonathan Hutton. Get some emails to Jay Hutt. A lot of good stuff next.
Up his left foot. Well, I give up my right foot. We could that way hobble along. He'd have the left, I'd have the right. Well, first of all, where Tennessee beat Alabama 52-49 last year, I gave up a marriage for.
What do you think the punishment should be for Michigan and Jim Harbaugh?
Oh God, they need a couple years of post like bowl game ban. Absolutely, without a question. If everything comes to fruition. And if they're giving information to South Carolina about Clemson and Tennessee from last year, I say you just disband the entire program.
Death penalty?
Get rid of them. Get rid of them. They don't deserve it.
Ohio State should beat them for the next 30 years in every sport.
I mean, that's even worse than not getting to compete in a national championship.
Yeah, but cheaters don't deserve to compete for a national championship, especially a guy like Harbaugh. Send him to the Bears so he can try and steal some signals there and see what happens to him then.
I think they gave our signs to South Carolina last year. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's beyond that. It's beyond what they've even uncovered yet. They caused us to miss the Final Four last year by giving the signs. He should be fired. He should be fired.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I would argue that Riley Gaines should be the Time Magazine Person of the Year. I mean, the stuff she is doing, how she is fighting, has just been incredible. But you'll never see that happen because, well, that won't sell enough magazines. Not enough people are aware of the fight going on. It is truly amazing, though, that we have to go ahead and have a genitals check in sports because so many mediocre dudes have decided they want to play women's sports. I just, the effeminate male can kiss my backside. I'm tired of it. I've had enough of it. I don't like anything about it. And I swear to God, Riley Gaines should be Time Magazine Woman of the Year. I tell you this, we got a lot going on with emails. Let's go right to them. Gary Mays, Coach D on Capitol Hill. All the deans that were testifying before Congress regarding anti-Semitism failed miserably. It was an absolute ass clown show. I almost forget the ass. And WTF, they were all women. Of course, like you, I love most women, but seriously, all of them were incompetent, arrogant women. Not a single man can be president of MIT, Penn, Harvard. Well, let me stop you there. The lady, of course, that is the new president, Ms. Gay, is African-American, shaved head, and a complete boob buffoon. The white woman, that's the president of Penn, should be fired immediately. These women had a chance on Capitol Hill in front of Congress to say anti-Semitism has no place on our campus. It will be dealt with and dealt with severely, but they did not. And now, after public backlash, because these arrogant boobs have decided, wait a second, we're being crushed by our own, meaning crazy ass leftist media and people all across the country. And I guarantee you, donors, these idiots, the two idiots that I mentioned, had to go on and make videos explaining themselves. How do you have to explain yourself? How do you not just get in front of Congress and say, look, I saw what happened on our campus. We have taken steps to deal with these people harshly, severely, and forever. This will not be tolerated, this anti-Semitism on our campus, period. And anybody that engages in it will be banned and expelled from our campus, period. Period. That's the easiest thing in the world. But I'm telling you, separate but equal. Equal but special. Women think that they're not going to get criticized. I mean, they're still thinking about 2020 when a white dude or people on X that aren't some kind of minority couldn't say nothing. That's changed, baby. Women, you want jobs like that? Then start acting like it. Then start acting like people that have a frickin' sack to you. And start sacking the hell up. I mean, you women are embarrassing. You could not be more embarrassing, the president of Harvard, the president of Penn. I don't even know what the president of MIT is. I mean, that place is so jacked up. All of them are incompetent, arrogant women. Not a single man can be president of MIT, Penn, and Harvard. No, we got to have diversity higher. Most importantly, they could not sack up and do the moral right thing to stand up for the Jewish kids on campus. It's not that hard. But, what is worse? The disgusting liberal elites in education or the women that have no intestinal fortitude, AKA balls, to lead these alleged institution of higher learning. Keep up the good work. And yes, I did officiate with Mark Bolz. A really good story for another time. Are you right? The ridiculousness of these women, they should be fired immediately, but they won't. You can't fire a black woman. Look, basketball coaching, you can't fire an African-American assistant coach. I mean, you want the truth. I hear all these people saying, well, African-American coaches have to be better. No, they don't. Are you crazy? They just got to sign up. Oh, man. You can't fire an African-American woman. Maybe you can't fire a woman. But if I were a Jewish donor to any of these institutions, I would first off, no more money, but I would demand very publicly, get these dumbasses out and stop the diversity hire and hire the right people for the job, the most competent people for jobs. You don't like it? Don't at me. Juggernaut Jr. says, Dan Dakich, or should I say Santa Claus, you gave me Indiana plus 7.5 at Michigan, minus 110 odds, $950 payout. Christmas is paid for. Wife thinks I'm a genius. I quit my job. I dropped 10 pounds. My hair is growing back. Don't effing at me for life. Kindest regards, Leonard. Look, there was a day last night, the sack attack went 10-1. Yeah, it did. At least for my money, it went 10-1. I got a little seed money for the weekend. That's right. Lee and I went out to dinner. She was a little crabby. That sack attack gave me 11 bets. It takes a minute or two to put the bets in. She was a little crabby. I said, look, it's the sack attack. We're going to pay for this dinner and then some in 10 minutes. Well, guess what? He went 10-1. And guess what? See this? That's my toes tapping. Jennifer, I assume this is Jen, a.k.a. Gritty, a.k.a. the official beer sponsor, beer chef, beer chief, beer chieftain, chieftess of our show. Riley Gaines is a stud, but she should have instead called Congresswoman Lee a liar rather than a misogynist. It is an absolute lie that anyone is preventing men from participating in sports. They're simply trying to prevent men from participating in women's sports. And for a member of Congress to lie and then slander a witness should be grounds for immediate dismissal. This was not Gritty, but another Jennifer. Jennifer, you're right. But again, African-American woman, you think they're firing her? Come on. You crazy? I mean, let's talk real on this show. African-American dude in Congress, African-American woman. Hey, look, there will be a time where an African-American man in Congress can pull a fire alarm to delay a vote that he doesn't want to see happen, lie about it, have proof that he lied about it, and get absolutely nothing done to it. That time will come. It's already coming. Are you kidding me? It's already here. Look, let's not make no mistake about it. You can get mad all you want at me. But them's the berries, as my mother used to say. I don't think my mother said it, but somebody used to say it. I didn't just make up Dems the berries, I don't think. Maybe I did. Earl is Chicago's biggest fan. He said the Cubs pitch to Shohei Ohtani should go as such. Hey, you want to come play for the most prolific National League team in baseball history? We'll make you out to look like a god amongst men. Here's a statue erected outside Wrigley just for you. How about that? And oh, by the way, we have Seihei Suzuki. Ryan's Hoskins can't be the only target we go after this offseason. Just be a waste. Plus, the coping from Dodgers fans is going to be hilarious when Ohtani chooses Chicago over LA. Let me tell you why I would choose Chicago over LA. Now, look, the money's got to be right, all that kind of stuff. But I got to tell you, I've always said this about the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks practice facility is up in Westchester County. You know where they play? Right in the middle of Manhattan. You know what a pain in the backside it is to get from Westchester County, where you live, home? You know what a pain it is when you fly back into LaGuardia and you get in your car and you got to go to Westchester County to live, and then you got to come downtown the next day to play? It's a pain. Those things matter. I'll tell you what's a great setup. Great setup is the LA Angels. They have this beautiful apartment complex right damn near 2 steps off of the parking lot of their stadium. That's genius. Dodgers, not so much. The stadium, while beautiful, is landlocked. Wrigley Field, hell, remember the guy Ben Zobrist? Ben Zobrist just took a bicycle in his uniform to work from down the street at one of the brownstones in Wrigleyville. Those things matter. Those things matter to me. Those things would matter to everybody. See, Michael Jordan had it figured out. The United Center is right off the highway. You don't have to go into downtown Chicago. It's considered downtown Chicago or just off West Side. But Michael Jordan would drive his car where he wanted nobody to know who he was. By the way, it was a Ferrari that said MJ23, I don't know, or Jumpman 23. Michael Jordan wanted you to know who he was as he drove down the highway. I don't know why he would do that. But the truth of the matter is, Michael Jordan was right off the highway. The Knicks, you ever been to Madison Square Garden? You tell me how you get your car in there, and you tell me, and I'll listen, where you park it. Also, you tell me this. if I'm taking a car service, how much is that going to cost me in LA? How much is that going to cost me in New York? If I'm Ohtani, yeah, I got more money than God. But you know how smart guys keep their money? By not spending zillions of dollars getting to and from work. Period. Mike Greenberg had it figured out. When Greeny signed his big contract, Greeny paid a lady, a neighbor of his, $35,000 a year. All she had to do was drive in to Bristol from Westchester County and back home. And in the meantime, he paid for bagels for him, Golick, and her. That's a pretty good gig for a housewife. I mean, you get up at 5:30, you drive the guy in, you stay till about what time that show get over, 9 or 10? You drive home, you're done for the day. Not bad. Some spending cash. Anyway, understand this. If I'm Ohtani, I'm looking for comfortable. I've been in LA. I know LA. And you know what else? I got to tell you, when you go to a game, and I went to a game of Ohtani's, I went to a game, and there were so many Japanese media there, and there's so many Japanese fans there, and that's all great, but after a while, it just gets exhausting. I mean, when I go clubbing in Indianapolis, it's just exhausting, the number of Indiana fans with pictures and velvet ropes and bottle services and, hey, do this. And then if you say something wrong, somebody's probably videotaping it, and it just gives you a headache. I kid. But you get the point. Ohtani, come to the Cubs. I got a guy asking me, hey, Dan, you keep saying about the sack attack. Why don't you share? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to share. He has given me and you, he has done this. He has, when he gets his bets organized, he has given to us, because he's an ardent listener, watcher of the show, as are most people. I'm just saying. The NFL is heating up. But I got to tell you, tonight's game, the over-under, did you see this? The over-under is 30 points. Now, the used to be, if you were under 30 points or 40 points in an NFL game, you know what? That was low. This is 30. This is Iowa, Nebraska. This is Iowa, Michigan, Iowa, Minnesota, Iowa, Indiana, Iowa, Wisconsin, Iowa, Rutgers, Iowa, Ohio State, Iowa, Penn. This is Iowa, except you got two Iowas. I'll give you this. The last time the Patriots scored a point wasn't last game. 6-0 was the score. They got beat by the Chargers, 6-0. Now imagine you're going to a football game. You're taking your son. You're all excited. You're going to Foxborough. You're going where they have won championship after championships of Gronk and Brady and Ninkovich and Brewski. And I mean, Wilfork and all these guys. And you're like, hey, let's go. And it's 6-0. The home team can't get a point. The home team played pretty good defense because the visiting team from LA, the Chargers, only got 6. And then, of course, well, you've got the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers and their moronic fans decided that they did not like Matt Canada. And what happens is, once you decide as fans that you are going to bully somebody, which is the easiest thing to do because Matt Canada is a white dude. He's had a number of jobs, but Matt Canada wasn't the problem. Matt Canada wasn't the problem at all. Yes, I know all of you Pittsburgh Steelers fans were so excited because there was 400 yards gained, not last week, the week before. Did you see last week? Did you? Kind of, sort of. You scored 6. You scored 6 whole points. That's where you're at, Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So my guess is, now that Kenny Pickett seems to be injured, my guess, just a guess, that Matt Canada really wasn't the problem. My guess, just a guess, is that you've got some internal problems. My guess, just a guess, is that Deontay Johnson, the wide receiver who doesn't try, well, he's part of the problem too. Idiot wide receivers always are. All right, we come back. We got Jay Hutt joining us. Hey, Gritty, here he is, the bearded one next.
Victoria's Secret used to be sexy. On that note, let's talk about Victoria's Secret, because we continually talk about saving women's spaces, their sports leagues, their locker rooms, but we've never actually talked about their dressing rooms in retail stores. Well, now we also are getting the opportunity to talk about that one, because the other day, according to an article by Newsweek, a trans woman started complaining on social media that Victoria's Secret mistreated them because they wanted to use a dressing room in one of their stores. So the trans person tweeted out this, quote, "I was trying to find a cute bra at Victoria's Secret, and they made me wait until every cis woman left the dressing rooms before I could go into one of them. They even made other cis women wait until I had my turn, so no cis woman would have to be in any of the 5 other rooms." Obviously, she's meaning at the same time. So let's just examine this for what it's worth. A biological man, right, was trying on a cute bra. Why? I don't know, because if you were to see the picture of this trans person, there's nothing for the bra to cover, that I can tell at least. I'm not sure why you'd want to wear a bra, because as a woman, I can tell you that bras are not comfortable, and a woman looks forward to wearing a bra. So it's very puzzling why someone would go to all of the trouble to try to find a cute bra. But that's just me talking. Anyways, they were forced to wait by sales associates in order to, of course, protect the privacy of all the other actual women who are using the same space. And to which I say, cry me a river, right?
Hey, you know what? People are ingenuitous, whatever. A TikTok. Listen to this. I just saw this over break. A TikTok user is getting paid a lot of money to perform a very simple task. You know what that task is? Putting up decorations topless. That's right. She refers to herself as the Topless Decorator. She will come to your house, take off her top, and videotape it while she puts up your stuff topless. She says this, and I was like, hey, if you're in Florida, hell, even if you're across the effing state line, if you want your Christmas stuff put up, I'll put it up for you with my blankies out. I had at least 30 messages saying, let's do it. There you go. She says she bagged a quick $3,500 decorating trees topless. She was even paid to cut down a tree while well in a micro bikini. My wife, the lovely Lee Ross Dakich, says it all the time. Men are so simple. Men are so simple. She has a security guy, by the way. His name is Joe. That's right. Her security guy is Joe. He comes along with me to my client's house. I pay him 30%. I think 30% is fair, she says. He takes his job seriously because he's paid well. Hookstead has the article, and you know what? God bless America. Why are we complaining about our country when we have women that will come over to your house? Now, I'm betting, why not give a little beefcake for the ladies? I'm willing to come over to your house. I'll do some assless chat work for you. I'll climb a ladder. And you know what? You're going to have to pay me $3,500 though to do it. I'm not doing 10 of these for $350 a piece. I'll do one, $3,500. My wife Lee will bring the boxing gloves, and she'll be the security. But I'll get the assless chaps going. In fact, I might even get some edible underwear and let you gnaw at them. That would be for $5,000. But hey, you know what? To each their own is what I'm saying. To each their own. If you want to pay somebody, God bless you. But here's the deal. Here's the deal you got to understand. Every single guy that pays for this secretly is hoping he's going to get a stupid. Yes, he is. You guys say, hey, no, he's not. He's just a weirdo. No. The guys that sign up for this are privately thinking, lady comes over. She's already going to be topless. I'll give her a glass of wine. We'll have some chat. Next thing you know, who knows? It's sad. It's pathetic. It's terrible. It's awful. But God bless America. Serious. You know what I mean? Back in the day, you guys will remember this from Melrose Place. Elizabeth Shue's brother, Andrew. Andrew was a stud. This is the stuff I like. So Andrew Shue is now in a wife swapping deal. Listen to this. Remember last year when the hosts of Good Morning America, Amy Robach and TJ Holmes, started stooping? And one was married to Andrew Shue, that would be Amy, and TJ was married to Marlene Feibe. Well, guess what? Now that Amy and TJ broke up the happy home by stooping each other on the set of Good Morning America or meeting on the set of Good Morning America, their spouses have decided. That's right. Their spouses have decided we're going to start stooping. Hey, it's the same thing that Shania Twain's husband did. Shania Twain started stooping the wife of the couple's best friend, Mutt Lang. So Shania, I think, married the husband. This goes back to the Yankees. If you're a Yankees fan, you know the name Mike Dakich. You know Fritz Peterson and Mike Dakich. Mike Dakich liked Fritz's wife more than Mike Dakich liked Mike Dakich's wife. Fritz Peterson liked Mike Dakich's wife more than Fritz Peterson, his wife. So they swapped, literally swapped. Said, hey, honey, you're moving out. You're going with Fritz. Hey, baby, you're moving out. Fritz's old lady's coming in here, and you're going with Mike. I ain't mad about it. I got some damn awards. Hunting will be on at 10:30. Stud of the week, Riley Gaines. Riley Gaines went in front of Congress and some diversity hire, crazy people, and just bitch slapped him. I think we've got some of her testimony, don't we?
What about the harm to us? Who is working to minimize the harm done to female athletes? Let me be perfectly clear. A school that knowingly allows a male athlete to take a spot on a women's team or allows a male athlete to take the field in a women's game is denying a female student athletic opportunity. And that is sex-based discrimination, and it violates Title IX, regardless of what the new regulations might say. It is my sincere hope that members of this committee will take action to stop the Biden administration's illegal and administrative rewrite of Title IX. Of course, there is a place for everyone, regardless of gender identity, regardless of sexual orientation, regardless of race or what sports you play. There's a place for everyone to play sports in this country. But unsafe, unfair, and discriminatory practices towards women must stop. Inclusion cannot be prioritized over safety and fairness. And Ranking Member Lee, if my testimony makes me transphobic, then I believe your opening monologue makes you a misogynist. Thank you.
Yeah. Congresswoman Lee just got smacked. And of course, Congresswoman Lee wanted Riley Gaines' words stricken. And because she's an African-American woman, you know that's going to happen. It's like Jamal Bowman pulls a fire alarm as an African-American dude. What? I thought I was getting into the office. What are you talking about? What? Come on. And nothing happens. Riley Gaines is a stud. The moron of the week. Look, David Carr, all right. He's wanting Jalen Hurts benched because he says he's hurt, but that's at the end. What he said earlier was simply, hey, look, you can't read defenses. Oh, all right. Wow. Didn't see that coming, particularly Jalen Hurts. Well, he's been the leader for the most valuable player award in the NFL all year. I know they got beat by Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy was really good. Deebo Samuel, really good. The San Francisco 49ers, really good, but it's one game. And all of a sudden, you're supposed to bench him. And then, of course, David Carr couched it by saying, hey, he's hurt. Well, maybe he is. But I would take a hurt. Would I take a hurt Jalen Hurts, a hurt Jalen Hurts over a healthy Marcus Mariota today, tomorrow, and the next day, period. Strangest story, Stephen A. Smith says he believes a Trump re-election could cause a civil war. All right. That is a damn award in there for Stephen A. Smith. Who is the civil war against? Is it liberals and conservatives? Is it black versus white? Is it minorities versus, I don't know. You tell me. Who is the civil war? I've said for years we're getting to a point where there will be a civil war. I don't know that that's a strange story, but my question is always, who against who? I personally think it's going to be conservatives against liberals. I do. I think people are so up in arms. I think people are so insane. Clay Travis made a great point the other day. He said, political parties are like your sports team. You pick one when you're basically a kid, maybe you're 20, and you stick with them the rest of your life. I'm the anti that. I didn't even know I paid so little attention to politics other than just reading articles. I didn't care who was a Republican or a Democrat, and I still don't. I just want to hear ideas and read about people. I didn't even know Ronald Reagan was a Republican or a Democrat. I didn't. And I was in college when he was president. I had no idea. I did not know. Did not know and did not care. I just wanted to read about him. I just wanted to read about Carter. I just understood that Carter was a maniac and Carter did bad things and Carter was a fool. And Carter is exactly what we're seeing right now with Joe Biden. But I digress. So I do think that, I do think a civil war is coming. I do. But I don't think it's black-white. I don't think it's north-south. I don't think it's east-west. I think it's conservative versus liberal. And hey, look, you conservatives, you got all the guns. Yeah. So you got a good chance. Worst week, the roster of Ohio State. A lot of people had worse weeks. If you got convicted of murder, I apologize. You've had a worse week. If you lost or got divorced, you had a worse week. But from a purely sports perspective, you got to admit the Ohio State Buckeyes, who lost their quarterback, lost a wide receiver, lost a running back, lost a couple. I mean, they just lost and lost and lost. But let's not have tears for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Let's not do that. We all understand that the Ohio State Buckeyes are going to be just fine. I assume that Ryan Day has Cam Ward, the quarterback, multi-dimensional quarterback from Washington State, all lined up, just as I assume that Kyle McCord, who is the leaving quarterback of Ohio State, has a place already lined up. Kind of the way the world works. Deals are done before deals get announced. Hey, when we come back, I got a ton of headlines to get to, and Jay Hutt's going to join.
Welcome into OutKick the show. I am Clay Travis, your fearless leader.
I am going to continue to argue that sports is one of the great unifying forces in all of American life.
ESPN is a sinking ship. Democrats are now the party of the white, woke college graduate.
We live in a land of participation trophies.
You gotta lean into the turns. You really gotta lean into the turns.
Very difficult to go back-to-back years in the NFL with the number one overall pick.
Is it fair for people to be upset with Barbie?
I've been out of LA long enough to have forgotten that libs, no matter how ridiculous a scenario, are gonna live. What have you seen firsthand of how this has affected you in the plant and your fellow employees? Under Joe Biden, the Taliban has retaken Afghanistan. Putin has invaded Ukraine. So if there was ever a time for freaking aliens to inhabit and conquer Earth, now would be that time.
You're born a male, play with males. You're born a female, play with females. Don't at me about it. The American people are being cheated. We, ladies and gentlemen, are being cheated.
I made the call to end the Me Too movement, and today I'm going to continue making that case. And that's just a way to further taunt these women, to make them feel less than, to make them realize that this has just become a big joke.
and we were able to see you guys on the ground with your signs supporting, that was huge.
They were saying, oh, it's only 1 or 2. That's rubbish, and we all know that's rubbish. Once those trans-identifying males were able to succeed, it just encouraged.
Hey, December 7th, 1941, 82 years ago, Pearl Harbor. If you ever watched the movie Pearl Harbor, I think it does a pretty good job of illustrating the terror that went on that day. 82 years ago, December 7th, we remember, 1941. Never forget. And we honor those that are still buried. You know, you go out there and what is it, the Arizona, and underneath is, I forget the name of the ship, but it's out there and it's still leaking oil to this day. If you ever want something that is moving, if you ever want something absolutely 1000% worth it, I know it's in Hawaii, so people want to go, but I'm telling you right now, Pearl Harbor is must see. Do yourself a favor. Go, get on the Arizona, take a look at the memorial, watch the video. It's unbelievable. Actually, Arizona is the one that's under, and the memorial is on top. It is absolutely it's terrible, but it is a great remembrance. It's terrific to have gone there, just like it's terrific to go to New York City and see the 9/11 monument. And do yourself a favor when you go there, just shut the hell up. There's no reason, none whatsoever. Hey, breaking news, my niece, Emily Eamon, will be on SportsCenter tonight talking about the volleyball NCAA tournament that is starting. She is the preeminent volleyball announcer in the country. I don't know what to make of this. I really don't know what to make of this. So I'm just going to say this. Jon Rahm is going to get paid $600 million to leave the PGA Tour to go to the LIV Tour. Now, Jon Rahm has gone back on his word and people are upset. Jon Rahm's word was, I ain't going to LIV. I ain't going. He multiple times pledged his loyalty. Multiple times he said, I am going to be on the tour. This is my official, he said, February 16th, 2022. Listen, this is my official, my one and only time I'll talk about this, where I'm officially declaring my fealty, F-E-A-L-T-Y, I don't know what the hell that is, to the PGA Tour. I'm a PAC member, have a lot of belief in Jay Monahan and the product that they're going to give us in the future. There has been a lot of talk, a lot of speculation about the Saudi League, Rahm says. It's just not something I believe is in the best interests of me and my future in golf. And I think the best legacy I can accomplish will be on the PGA Tour. Then he said in June, so it wasn't his one and only, I've always been interested in history and legacy, and right now the PGA Tour has a lot. There's a meaning when you win the Memorial. There's a meaning when you win Arnie's tournament at Bay Hill. There's a meaning when you win in LA, Torrey, some of these historic events. To me, that matters a lot, Jon Rahm said. My heart is with the PGA Tour. That's all I can say. Yeah? You think so, huh? 600 million reasons to leave. Now, understand, it's easy for us to say, wow, he's got all the money in the world. What does 600 million more mean to him? Well, what do you mean? What does it mean to him? And really, the way the LIV Tour and the PGA Tour is going, does it really have prestige to win at Torrey Pines? Does it really have prestige to win, I don't know, the Greater Hartford Open, which isn't there anymore, the Memorial? I mean, maybe it does, and I understand that. I do. But I got to tell you, and I hate to say this, I just hate to say this, but Rahm ain't wrong. He's just not wrong. In fact, he couldn't be more right. He's got to go for $600 million. $600 million, you're done. $600 million, it's over. You don't have to work another day in your life, and you still get to play in the majors. So get off Jon Rahm's ass, will you? Get off his backside, please. Jeez. Danny Cannell, I like Danny Cannell. Danny Cannell said this. Danny Cannell said that ESPN had a say in the college football playoff and that Kirk Herbstreit has more power. He said this on Hot Mic with Hutton. He said Herbstreit has more power than anybody, and Herbstreit's words are, quote, gospel. He noted that Herbstreit was the first person to float the idea that Florida State might not make the college football playoffs. All right. Herbstreit, according to TJ Pittinger, told you guys what would happen 12 hours before it actually happened. 12 hours before Jordan Travis actually hurt himself. It has nothing to do with the injury. ESPN, according to many people, including Cannell, was not going to leave the SEC out. I'll give you another tie-in. You know who Boo Corrigan's brother is? Tim Corrigan, executive producer of what? ESPN. Now, executive producer, he's in charge of all the NBA. So there's a connection there. It's a stupid connection. Look, I get it, but it's a connection nonetheless. So don't at me, people, when I'm making my connections here. But the truth of the matter is, I don't think Kirk Herbstreit has any influence among people that actually can think. And I do think, however, that Kirk Herbstreit's words do have meaning when people do pay attention to games. And if he's going to sit there and tell you that Florida State's not as good, that would have some standing. That's why I watch games on mute. I do. I watch games on mute, mostly because college basketball coaches talk, or college basketball analysts led by Robbie Hummel talk too damn much. Son of a, just shut up once in a while. Let it breathe once in a while. I'm a big Robbie fan, but you got to let it breathe. I mean, if you're doing a podcast or you're doing a show and you got 3 hours to fill, you can't let it breathe. You got to talk during that time. But for the love of all things holy, all right, Cannell goes on to say he was really pounding home the 4 best teams. I think a lot of people on the committee paid attention to that. Yeah, maybe. Look, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about Florida State, but I'm going to talk about Florida State. Here's the deal. Very simple. The Michigan-Alabama game will be the highest rated game in college football history. It's going to be. People are already talking about setting up their time to watch this game. This is going to be the game that everybody watches. Now, what's happened to my audio? You guys don't like my audio? What's going on, Michael? I don't know. I thought my audio was pretty good. Michael Coons keeps complaining about it. I need to know whether Van Pasterman and the rest. Anyway, wait. Van Pasterman says, going back to Jon Rahm, if you're paying him $600, it's really just $300. Right. Right, you are. All right. All right. Dan, I rarely disagree. Hummel is awesome. Great voice, tons of knowledge. He's the best. I mean, I get it. Talks too much. Got to shut up. I had to turn it off the other day. I did. I had to turn it off. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I do think I think everybody talks too much, but I just happen to be listening. I'm like, I can't listen to him. I had to, I did. I had to turn it down. I had to go back to Bob Knight and I sitting in a room, and I had to, if he's close to the mic, it sounds better. So I'll get closer to the mic. Friday's FCS game is going to be a very good game. They're all very good games. These are all going to be very good games. But the truth of the matter is this. There will never be a higher rated, more watched game than Michigan, Alabama on January 1st. It will be number one. Michigan has set itself up. Why? Because of the cheating. Alabama has set itself up because it's Alabama. And everybody knows Alabama is probably better than Michigan, and they want to see Michigan go down, or they want to see Alabama go down, and they're going to bet their face off it. That's all I got for you. Period. That's it. That's all. And if anybody doesn't believe that, just wait and watch. These things they're going to say something like, well, it's the most watched game since 2014. Yeah, my ass. It's going to be the most watched game. Period. And it ain't even going to be close. Now, there's a bunch of streaming elements. They dilute the one network. I get all that. Blah, 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 blah. But the fact of the matter is that game needs to happen, needed to happen, is going to happen. And I can't wait. Hey, Lawrence Taylor is off of underage strippers and hookers, and he is now talking about something he knows a little bit about, which is professional football. So Lawrence Taylor says by today's rules, it would be very difficult for him to play, and he's probably right. By today's rules, Lawrence Taylor, he says, well, you know what? I probably would be kicked out of every game. Tom, I'll tell you, he was talking to Tom Brady. I wish I could have played back in your era. I could see how you did all that you've done, because you've done more than any other player could even think about doing from an offensive point of view. If I'm going to be in the game and I'm thinking, how am I going to play you? That'd be a lot of work. You have great skills. You should be proud. And I know you are proud, because when we look at the best and think about the best and reminiscing about the best, your name's got to be on the top level, on the number one level right now. You're the number one guy in football that I haven't hit. Okay. He did not think he would be good for the game because of the rules. He felt like he would be oft penalized. He felt like he would be kicked out of games. I'd say the rules are a lot different, Brady said. And I've been on record. I really don't think the way that it's gone, because there's people like every time you hit a quarterback, there's a flag. The reality is defenses should be aggressive. He's right. Right. Lawrence Taylor uses the DeAndre Swift getting fined for running over a guy. He ain't wrong. No, he's not wrong. A lot of debate right now. I don't know why you guys aren't just hitting the like button left and right. I mean, we got 400 people on here. You know what I mean? Let's go. Let's go. Let's hit the like button. Let's go. Grumpy old man, ratings are more important than student athletes. Hell yeah. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Ratings are always more important than student athletes. Student athletes come and go. But the money, of course. You guys act like, well, these poor student athletes. Hey, Florida State's fine. Their players are getting taken care of. They're going to get their ass beat by a depleted Georgia team. They're fine. I mean, they are. They're fine. They'll be fine. You know what I mean? But people act like, oh, my God, these poor kids. No, there's nothing about poor kids. No. Poor kids, my backside. I'm not going with poor kids. They're fine. Yes, ratings. Yes, money. Yes, over student athletes. Yes, because they're not mutually exclusive. See, that's the thing people don't understand. People want to say this or this, student athletes or ratings. Now, you're doing both. Hey, you don't think the student athletes at Alabama aren't excited? Why are the student athletes at Florida State more important than the student athletes at Alabama? You tell me. I don't know. You tell me. I'll listen. But the poor student athletes at Florida State, all right, what about the great excitement of the student athletes at Alabama? No. To me, they both matter. To me, they're both important. To me, we got to have both. What about this poor student athlete? Views like free likes are earned. Let me tell you something. I give it to you every day. I bring you the best show in the country every single day. I do. And if you don't like it, Hey, bite me. All right. Let's go to some woke-a-dopes here. We got some crazy woke-a-dopes before my battery runs out here. What we got, big boy? Daddy, what did you tell Disney when they tried to cancel you? I told them to go F themselves. And look at the little boy. Effing legend. That's right, Elon. That's right. I'm going to try to get Tom Brenneman on tomorrow. You know, Tom Brenneman got canceled. And look, what he said, you can't say. What he said was wrong. He apologized. Tom Brenneman should be back doing games. And I'm going to be on Tom's show coming up here at 11:15. But the fact of the matter is Tom Brenneman should be back doing games, and he's not. Why? Well, because people get sad, and Tom said the wrong thing, but he's apologized. We accept apologies from some and not from others. Next. Heating and gas costs so much, I would actually prefer several nice lumps of coal in my stocking this Christmas. How the hell you think you pay for the gas? How do you think you pay for the coal? How do you think you pay for heating? Get yourself a coal oven. Get yourself a coal furnace. What do you call it? Get yourself coal. We need coal. Give me 2 lumps of coal. Let's tease the last thing, Stinger, before you give your take. Yeah, I can do that. But I'm running out of battery, baby. I am. I'm running out. But that's all right. Look, Bidenomics. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a war. We are. We're in a war for our soul. And it ain't whether or not Donald Trump becomes the damn presidential nominee or the president. It's if we let these clowns continue to be president. Oh, my God. Can you imagine a presidency of Kamala Harris? Ugh. Dave, I'm with you. Coal and drill, baby, drill. Next. I respect the environment. I'm getting an artificial tree, then I'll throw it in a landfill after New Year's. You know what I did one time with a tree? I got to tell you, Leo vouched for this. A tree goes up so fast. A tree just explodes when you light it. A Christmas tree burns. In fact, I was stupid enough. I got a burn pile down at the bottom by my house, and then I got my gas outdoor fire pit, and for some reason I decided it was going to be smart of me to put my tree in the fire pit. I've done a lot of stupid things in my life. That might be number one. So it cost me $600 because the tree burnt the handle, the nozzle. There you go. That's it. That's unbelievable. It's incredible. Jeez. Anyway, that's the world that we're living in, where dummies like me burn. I burn them. I don't know what you're supposed to burn. I don't know what you're not supposed to burn. I don't know, Van Pastor Man. I just know this. If it's a tree and I burn it, what's the problem? Otter Creek, those trees will go quick. Otter Creek ain't lying. Otter Creek ain't lying even a little bit. Whoo, burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno. Burn, baby, burn, burn that mother down. All right, we got a stringer. Watch this stringer for last thing. Here it is. You know, I'm going to make this your one-stop shop for college basketball. And let me tell you what's going on currently in college basketball. I'm going to make the argument that I don't know the last time a team has been favored to win back-to-back NCAA titles in the modern era. Obviously, Duke did, and Duke was. But the truth of the matter is, I'm watching UConn, and I'm saying to myself, holy cow, UConn is really, really, really good. And UConn, if you're a college basketball fan, there's some debate whether or not UConn is a blue blood. They won 5 national championships in the last 25 years. Are you out of your freaking mind? They're as blue blood as it gets. Are you kidding me? Ain't nobody more blue blood than them. But people somehow, some way have this weird take that somehow they've got to position themselves as a blue blood. Indiana hasn't won one since 87. I had a full head of hair. I've been married twice, had 2 kids since 1987. Kidding me? I found the love of my life since 1987. Truth of the matter is this. UConn is not only a blue blood, UConn looked damn good last night. I feel bad for North Carolina, and I'll tell you why. North Carolina's like Indiana. They're just like everybody else. When you used to watch North Carolina, you saw the fast break. You saw Roy Williams. You saw Dean Smith. You saw a team that looked exactly like North Carolina. Now what do you see? I don't know. I don't know what you see. I'll tell you one thing you see. You see a damn team that looks good, but looks like everybody else. He's got mercenaries in there, and they just don't play well, and that Baycott kid is just like anybody else. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Truth of the matter is, if you're North Carolina, you're Indiana, you're Kansas, you're Duke, you're UCLA, Connecticut, Michigan State, you shouldn't look like everybody else. Speaking of Michigan State, I know they're going to get better, but them losing to what I think is a good now, I thought it was mediocre. Now I think it's a good Wisconsin team, set the Big Ten back on its ear. A lot of people felt like the best team was Purdue. Second best team was Michigan State, and the rest were fighting for their lives. I would argue Indiana's the second best team. I know Indiana hasn't beaten great teams, but they did go to Michigan. And by the way, Michigan, holy cow. Yeah, nobody show up. How can nobody show up at Michigan? I know Michigan's a football school. My son went there. I know they always struggle to get fans, but damn, Indiana's coming in? Indiana's coming in and you can't do any better than that? To quote a good friend of mine, Dan, that don't make no damn sense. So I would go right now, and I'll put this maybe tomorrow. In fact, let's do this, Nick and Nick. I'm going to put my Big Ten Dan Dakich index together for tomorrow. But I got to tell you, man, I'm watching college hoops last night, and that team from damn UConn looked damn good. I'm going to change the audio on this real quick, so you may not be able to hear me as well. I'm going to go here so I don't run out before the end of the show. I just ran out for the end of the show. I'm off of well, maybe I'm not. Okay, good. All right, the YouTube chat. I'm sitting here on a YouTube chat, and one of the things that wait a second. Last thing on college basketball. Do yourself a favor. If you're a gambler, watch the game. Don't just gamble, but watch the damn game. Will you please? Will you do me that favor? Watch the game and then bet. It's the only way to fly. So many times people don't watch the game and they bet. I've decided, and this year, for the first time ever, I'm going to end the year up on my DraftKings account. Why? Because I started getting smarter. I started watching the games. That's right. And then betting. It started with the NCAA tournament, and now there it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for the watch. We're going to be back at it tomorrow. Love you a long time. Dylan and Ryan, thank you. Nick too. You guys are the best. Of course, Beth the Booker. I'll try to get Tom Brenneman on tomorrow. Beth the Booker, Katie, Haley, et al. Fantastic stuff. Absolutely tremendous. Hey, look, you can join me. Go to Tom Brenneman. He has a podcast, and I'm doing it coming up at 11:15. Have a great afternoon, everybody.